Hello again and welcome to Paintersblock. I'm your host, Anthony Ryden, and today we will be going over red hot blending. Now we're going to be going over the basics today, and in another episode next week we'll be going over a more advanced tutorial. But here you can see my model that I worked on, and we're going to use as my test subject, my Cosmic Titan. I wanted to use a hot sun-like red blend to add some hot colors to focalize, and we're going to use it on the back here, and I'm going to show it to you how I do it. So we're going to first grab our Baal red, and this is going to add our red warm tones to our palette and to our model. You're going to want to start off by whatever area you want to make red. You're going to first color in white with the titanium white or whatever nice thick white you have, and this is going to allow you to actually cover in with a true red, or as true red as you can get to at first. Now it will come out a little bit not so true red. It'll come out a little bit pink because it is still white with red and it doesn't like to mix too well. But we will be filling that with a warm orange. But first you're just going to apply this everywhere that we have white, and even don't worry about touching it everywhere else as well. And I use my makeup brush. That's probably the best way to apply this, but you could use any dry brush or any thick brush. I would recommend a dry brush though. You're going to need it for the stippling, or what I like to call it, like tap the brush. And then we're going to grab our lava orange and we're going to move on to the next step. And as you can see here, I grab a little bit of that Baal red first, and then I grab some of that, well, it was a little bit dry, so I grabbed some fresh Baal red. And I put it on the brush first, and then I mix it in with the orange, because we're going to start from a red strong spectrum into the orange and moving our way into these other brighter colors, making it look brighter. And in order to make it look brighter, we need to move towards yellow. So first is orange. So with our red orange, we're going to just come in and we're actually going to fill all of this this red that wasn't quite true red, and we're going to just go around and fill it. And you're going to, don't worry about tapping all these side areas, because it's going to actually help us achieve a somewhat of a glow around our hot areas. So it actually is just going to make all of this step a little bit easier. That's why I recommend using a dry brush, because you can actually just brush along the sides of these edges with these all these different tones at the same time, and you're going to get the same glow effect. Now you can see I just go around, and as I go around I fill it in, but then afterwards I go around and more hit the edges of going around and around, going away from the center and moving towards the edges with my orange and warmer tones, building up brightness towards the edges. There we go. It's starting to already kind of radiate a neon type red by adding some of that orange, but now we're just going to go in more with the true orange. I didn't clean up my brush that much. I actually left a little bit of that previous red, but just a tad bit. Cleaned it off on the towel rather than with any water, and grabbed the lava orange. Now I'm just going to go in and tap all of these surface areas. There we go. We're just going to build up this warmth, and once again we're kind of avoiding the middle as much as we can and more trying to aim towards the edges, building up that brightness, building up that warmth, and building up that glow effect around the ridges of the armor, the gold trim, the silver trim, this gold little orb thing in the middle. Really wanted to make sure to make that look a little bit fun with the glow effect as well. And you're just going to go around. Now I'm just doing more of a dry brush effect rather than an actual stippling technique. So yeah, you're just going to go back and forth with dry brushing and stippling with this in order to achieve a blending. And it's going to give you the same type of particle effect as an airbrush tends to try to give you, or does give you. I mean, you're going to try to achieve that with the brush. You'll get it as close as you can. Now I'm moving on to the Bad Moon Yellow. And this is a really nice bright yellow, and I'm just going to grab some of that. And you see how much I grabbed on the brush right there, and I'm just going to tap that into the orange, starting off with a strong yellow base this time, because we have so much orange we can kind of shift into it, and also orange is a really strong color. It's going to overpower that yellow. So I wanted more yellow on there instead of the orange. And as you can see, we're just going around doing the same method. We're going to tap all the edges, and avoiding the center, and build up that brightness, making these tubes look a little hotter each time, making all this glow a little bit more realistic with each swipe. It's coming along. There we go. Just brush and make sure to switch between stippling and dry brushing. Usually I go on stippling with the heat rods in the middle, and then I dry brush towards the end and towards the edges, the gold and the silver trim. That way you can kind of just grab the edges. And there you go, you can see our middle step is done. We've got our red to orange layer, a little bit of that yellow, but we're still going to boost it with a little bit more yellow. Grabbing that yellow, you can grab the tiniest bit of that orange. You can see here on my paper towel right there. Yeah, there we go. It's just like a dirty kind of yellow, but it's still way more on the yellow spectrum than orange. And we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to tap all the edges. Now, I do apologize for the angles. I've changed up my lighting setup, and I'm still getting used to it. I am going to get better at it with the next video, but very, very sorry. But anyways, here we go. We're just going to tap all the edges, and we're going to dry brush towards the edges of the lining of the gold trim and the silver trim, and then tap the heat rods. And as you can see, it's really blending in on that gold really well and starting to look like it's reflecting some heat. And we're going to go in and see this middle section. I just wanted to blend it together and make it look like it's really like in the middle of some hot stuff. Now we're going to grab our favorite titanium white, and we're going to just put a little bit of that on the side. Now I did find out there is another type of titanium white that's actually not a toothpaste consistency. And I'm going to try that out eventually, and I'll show you guys how it is. But so there is actually different types if you don't want this one because it is too thick. Now moving into this brighter yellow, we're going to grab a lot of this white, and we're going to grab some of this yellow. So here we go. I'm going to show you in just a second here. There's how much white I have on the brush. It's quite a bit more than this yellow. We're going to mix it together, and it's going to make this pale yellow, kind of blondish, but very much more yellow than blonde. And we're going to try to get towards this yellow underlying blonde level. And there we go. Yeah, now we're going to just tap the edges, and this is going to really radiate that heat and finish off our red to yellow gradient. Here you can see we're just going to tap the edges once again, tap the middle a little bit. It's kind of an accident, but we're just going to make happy little accidents. And tap the edge, tapping, and then we're going to move into a little bit of dry brushing when we get towards the edges. There we go. Just I'm going to tap, and you can't really see it, but I'm actually kind of stroking against the sides of the edges, doing a little bit of a dry brush. It's very subtle, but it's happening on each edge. And you're just going to go in and try to increase the warmth with that yellow, and as you can see, it's really brought out that heat. Now I'm grabbing a little bit more of that white, and I'm not even cleaning up the brush yet. I'm just going to keep moving in with this yellow spectrum I have, adding more white and heating it up even more. Tapping more of the very, very edges. Tapping. Really heating this up. Yeah, there we go. As you can see, we've blended the colors so much together that now that gold is back to gold and just has a little bit of a heat. Brilliant Shine Gloss, as we can say, is our special sauce in every episode. This is going to bring out the colors, all of these little middle shades, everything that we work so hard, and things that are hard to get with the brush, like everything that you can normally only get with an airbrush, these little tones. This is the secret sauce to bring it all out with the brush. So you're just going to apply this all over the heat rods or whatever you want to show that's really, really hot and like you wouldn't want to touch it. And there you go. There's a little example. One side with the gloss and one doesn't. You can just see that one side's a little bit more vibrant. It's kind of showing off a lot more of the layers of orange going into the yellow and the red. So it's really nice. Hi, Tomato. That's my boy. Say hi. Anyways, and there you have it. Just a nice way to build up heat with reds and yellows and whites and orange. Now, if I could take a moment of your time to ask you to please, if you enjoyed what you're seeing here today, please like, subscribe, and just comment below and tell us what you liked or learned or what you'd like to see next. Follow us on Reddit, Facebook, and Instagram. Thank you. Now, moving in with the gloss and the Chameleon Flakes, I'm going to show you an extra little tidbit, a little secret something. This is how you can make your little lights glow and not have to spend so much time on all this glow effect. I just grab a little dirty brush that I've had lying around gathering glitter, and I get some gloss and I apply inside of these little light up areas. And I grab my favorite one of these Chameleon Flakes, which happens to be the blue into fuchsia. I really love this one, so I'm just going to put this one in. And you're just going to put the gloss and apply evenly and plate it over the area that you want to light up. And whatever excess you don't want, you just use your finger and you rub it off. It's really simple. And here we go. You're just going to keep applying it. I usually apply 1 to 2 layers. And yeah, sometimes a third if I really want it to look like it's its own little like shifting layer of like cosmic stuffs. And I'm just gonna go in. I'm really applying it into these crevices. It's got really deep crevices, and it's inside of its own crevice, so it's a bit of a difficult one to show. Kind of showing you a hard one. When they're just like one layer and then in a crevice, it's really easy. You just stick the Chameleon Flake inside the crevice, and then you clean off the surface, and it's in there, and it's amazing. It looks really cool. When it's a crevice inside of a crevice, then you have some hard times, because then you can't wipe it off as easily. You might need like a I'd use like a Q-tip or another brush that you don't mind getting dirty. And in this one, I was just showing you how you do it with your finger, which is a really easy tool. You can use it to smudge. And I'm just going around and I'm applying it to all these little lights. There you go. You can see it really helps, and it adds this really cool deep blue effect underneath this hot red that we've just created, accenting and really focalizing your perception. And there you have it. Now, if you really enjoyed yourself or learned something today, or if you just have anything that you want to learn, please like and subscribe and follow us here on YouTube. We like to post something here every 3 days, and we really enjoyed having you here. And this is our Cosmic Titan that I've been working on here. It's almost pieced together. Now I have it all finished, and I'm going to show you a video on how to do everything. And the advanced one next week, and this heating method is going to be great. We're going to go from blue-black into red. It's really cool, and you're going to love it. Now, I hope we helped you break your painter's block.